Well, being in Atlanta all this time and then going to Nashville, where it's predominantly white. One, they go home at 5 and 6 o'clock when they're producing, because they go home to their families. Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man. If you are not married, it is not respected. Family is respected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call a woman a bitch, a hoe in Nashville, because they'll never even listen to your music, and your professional career will suffer. At what point in the Black community do our men create real homes? And even talking, just our first time talking, and you said you didn't even mean for that to happen. Life happens. I'm not here to judge life. I'm looking at a successful Black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on Black family, you know? And my grandfather, I watched my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a Black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, Black men, I got to my Black men to really step up for Black women and create families.
Girl, put the drink down. And I understand she's emotional with this, but I think that's because she's drinking too. But let's rewind this and make it more reasonable. You're asking for something that everybody must contribute and to make possible. You can't ask a Black man for them to be and lead the family when the woman, which is the second leader of the family, isn't listening to the leader of the family. Why? Because she wants to be the leader of the family. And then anything sets them off. She's comparing Black men to white men, country artists, to hip hop artists. You can't do that because white men have been raised differently. They've been raised with morals. They've been raised not to call a man out of their name. The women have been raised to serve the man and have family. So what you're doing is you're trying to equate yourself to the white people that don't speak violence in their music. They speak peace and love. Then you're equating that to hip hop that speaks about drugs, sex, money, killing. And then you're wondering why the society, and this is Kate Michelle? She's also contributed to all this as well. And then their women are very conservative dressing. So before she cries you a river, I wanted people, and I see that she's crying, I understand that, but you got to equate to the science of it. Break it down. You're equating a white man to a Black man, country to hip hop or rap. And then you're actually trying to compare someone that talks sexually about a lot of people and only talks very sexual, violent gangs versus someone that talks about love, family, and cruising. And then, yes, the people that talks about the nightlife and how deep and crazy it gets at night is probably going to stay up all night to rap about it, right? You know what I'm saying? While sipping on the lean, smoking the weed, rap about it. And I understand that. That's hip hop. But then you can't equate that to the white man that's talking about country and about his life and just cruising by himself. And it's Nashville. You can't conflate that with LA, Chicago, New York, you know what I'm saying? And Miami talk, it's a whole different culture. And then you can't blame the Black man for not being somewhere when the Black woman also, because there's two. You can't, when you point a finger, 10 fingers are pointing back at you. There's another reason. Right now in our community, we have a lot of Black women that wants to what? They want to lead. But then their thing is, well, we're forced to lead because the Black man doesn't want to be there. You know how many B words I've heard a woman call a man? Way more than I heard vice versa. For real. I hear that word all the time. I'm like, whoa, you guys ain't got no respect for the man. And then y'all want the man to lead the family, right? But you disrespect the man. The country artists ain't doing that. I bet they go home to their family because they love their family. And plus, on top of that, that woman keeps the family at whole while they're working. And then when they come home, everything's set in stone. But that's too boring for the Black family. That's too boring for the Black woman. She needs somebody that's going to arouse them. And she's a suspect of this as well. So she's crying of something she actually is a suspect of. She does this. She picks the bad guy. It's K. Michelle. She gets the BBLs. And you can't think about it, like these women, country artists, these women, their wives are conservative. You got your titties out right now. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
It's really not cool. Black men
It happens.
are attacking black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes, they're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful black.
And before I continue this video, I want you to listen. And I don't know because I haven't heard this video yet, but I want her to also take a little blame. You can't put all the blame on a black man when it makes two to make a child. It makes two to, you have to agree. You have access to sex, I have access to the ring. If you give me what I want before you get what you want, you don't get what you want. Because that's all I actually wanted from you. But that's all you offered to me. Think, man. You gotta think. This is how you get ahead.
Men to be, you have to set an example as leads.
What's she drinking on?
The cute social
Better call me
media
that
back
whiskey.
and
She drinking
forth
on
on
whiskey.
black women. Black women are strong. Black women are where you come from, this and that. So there probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening because there's so many other things around you going on that are not fair to black women. What is going on with the black family? We are consistently creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there.
Who
And they
fault is
see
that?
their mama sad at night. At what point is
And she's sending
the
shots, by the way.
successful
at
black
Cam.
man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day. I get to witness the best of both worlds every day. Getting on stage singing R&B, being here in Atlanta, I get to sing R&B, but then I get to go to Nashville and be like, you mean you ain't staying out till 6 in the morning? You gonna go home to your family, you gonna write this song and leave.
Right.
At 5 and 6 because you gonna take care of your family and your wife? At what point do the successful black men build black families? We ain't going.
Okay, let's stop saying that now. She's mentioned it like 8 times. Listen, y'all gotta listen close. I'm a really good listener now. I like to listen. I know I keep pausing, but I like to listen. She keeps saying successful black man. So you're equating everybody that is not successful. Just black man in general, because you're equating a regular white man to a successful black man. Because that's just the culture. You're not, see, she's not taking blame to black women. She's saying family, and she's saying black man, successful black man. There's no saying that it's a woman's fault. There's no attitude at fault. You gotta to have an adult, mature conversation, both parties must take accountability. And it starts with the person that is actually being affected the most. Men are being highly affected, but the women, since you want to be the leader, you end up with the same things that you want. I was at work the other day, and like I said, the lady said, if he don't want to be with me, I'm taking his kids away from him. And I said, just because he doesn't want to be with you doesn't mean he doesn't want his children. So you break up the family because he doesn't want you anymore, instead of keeping that family together. But it's because you are aggressive towards him, and he actually wants to make the family, but some guys just don't want to deal with the stress. There are those guys out there that actually are deadbeats. You know what I'm saying? I have a father myself that's a deadbeat. You know what I'm saying? So it's not exempted. They're not exempt. But for the girls that I do see out there, and I actually hear their stories, there's a lot of women out there that are playing the guy role and push the guy out of their own position. And then they outwork him, which, okay, cool. You outschool him, you go to school, you get more money than him, you only want to date the guys that are successful and more than him. You're not willing to settle for that guy. You're not willing to know, okay, this is a good guy. He might not make the most money, but he takes care of me and my family. He's loyal, he's faithful. He comes home every night. He's gonna love me and protect me and my family forever. And we're gonna live a good life. They don't want that. They want the man that's the very successful man that got his own pick of the litter, and then they want to be chosen. You can't do that. It doesn't make sense to you. If a man has high value, why would he pick someone that argues with him? And he can pick anybody. Because it just doesn't make sense. Think about it. So you can't cry about something that you are also contributing to the problem of.
Have a black family if y'all don't do it. We're never going to have it. It's just not going to happen.
It's not true. That's not true.
So if
that is not true,
your mentality is, yes, things happen, and I'm not knocking you for that. I didn't come here for that.
Been hitting shots at this nigga, bro.
But at what point do you take that black woman
and do what with her?
Do you be at a home and show your kids what it's like, At what point do you take a grip to it, not make excuses for it or mantras and things like that? It is so unfair to black women who have been the strength and builders of so many things. And I know life happens. You can't be with somebody you don't want to be with or whatever, but my grandparents did it. My grandfather, 92, died when he was 92, my best friend. I never seen another type of man. That's why I've turned down 3 rings, because they wasn't like my grandpa.
They're not gonna
My
be like your
grandfather
granddaddy.
raised 9 kids on his own because my grandmama died before I could even meet her. What point are our black men going to stop the bullshit, the social media shit and all of that, and build black homes? If we
see, and this video is labeled that Cam Newton, I basically, the video is labeled Cam Newton falls speechless, and he's speechless because your ass ain't making no sense. Cam Newton, he's a great listener too. He'll sit back, he'll have his middle ground opinions, but he really sits there and listen. And she just compared her dad, that is a single parent, that your mother died, was it a granddad or dad, whatever, I think it was a grandmother, died before you were born. So you don't know anything other than he has to raise his kids. That's all you know. And of course a man's gonna raise his kids if the woman's not there to take it. Now you compare it to a guy that gets his kids taken away from a woman and the system helps. The system wasn't like that back in the day. They had to do what they had to do, responsibility. He did not have to be successful. All he had to do was work and keep food on the table. That was a simple task. Yes, you denied 3 rings to compete with a guy like your granddad, and your granddad, you don't even know how he lived with your grandmother because she died before you were born. Stop trying to compete and compare guys to your granddad when they don't make those type of guys, because they don't make those type of women. Women have the choice to choose who they want, and they don't want guys that make less money. He probably didn't make any money for real, but he probably made a little bit more than she made. Stay at home. Your grandma was probably a stay-at-home mother. I'm just gonna put some guesses out there. I'm guessing that the grandmother was a stay-at-home mother. He did his job and came back home. The basic shit. He didn't have to be no famous guy. He had to be no millionaire. None of that. Social media wasn't a thing. Here, Kate Michelle, you're not taking no accountability right here, and that's why I can't listen to it no further. She's not taking any accountability for what she's doing. The black men, women, it's only black men and black family, no black women. The black woman has the same almost accountability as the black man does, because the black man goes with the flow, and the woman is taking control. And when she takes control, she wants to be the boss. But there can't be 2 leaders in a household. There's always got to be, it's going to be a power struggle. And then it's like, oh, well, I get paid more, or I work more, I make more, I make the rules. And it's like, dude, all men want, we're very simple. And not all men are like this, but that's why the women pick the guys that arouse them, because it makes them excited. It's boring. This is the divorce rate. The women leave the men. You got to think about it like that, man. For money and infidelity. They lock them in relationships, don't give them sex. They're not making enough money. I gotta leave you and get somebody that is making money. Your grandma would have stuck with your granddad, even if he was broke, because that's just how they were raised. Y'all women these days aren't raised like that. Men aren't leaving. It's the women, man. I just feel in this conversation, she has to take a little bit of accountability for herself and we can have a real mature conversation. So yes, Cam Newton might be speechless right now because he's listening to, he wants you to get out what you need to get out without interrupting what you're saying, because you're genuinely talking in your truth. It might not be the truth, but it's your truth. And he wants to hear it so he can then reply. In this aspect, you know, it's a very, you can tell the bias. The bias is it's a black man's fault while he's not pulling up the black woman and forcing her to do, we can't hit you. We can't force you to do nothing you don't want to do. All this has to be done is by choice. It has to be done strictly by choice. You got to want that family in order for that family to be successful. End discussion. You got to start being conservative, covering yourself up so you know men don't want you for that. They want you for your personality. You're only getting older, Miss K. Michelle. These crying episodes are going to keep coming. And then you're going to have to get more BBLs and all this. Now you don't know who's really around you for love or not, or sex. You'll never find out the truth. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section about this, man. This gets deep. This gets deep, and I can get deep with it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to know what y'all think about this conversation when it comes to dynamics. And I want y'all to reply based on this video. Don't make too much of an assumption. Don't go too much off the narrative. Stay strictly on what she's saying. I just wants to give her accountability. I just want her to take accountability, just a little bit. I wanted her in this whole video to at least say once, you know, we gotta, as women, we have our flaws. That little simple, you know, saying that could solve, like, okay, step one, you took accountability. Women have flaws too in the black community. Now, and men have flaws in the black community, we do, but not once in this like 7 minutes did she state that black women had any flaws and that they contribute to the reason why the black family isn't complete. It's your boy Angelo Savage. Tell me what y'all think in this comment section, man. This goes deep. And tell me if y'all like the type of content I'm trying to put up more just like it. It's your boy. Stay cool. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and don't forget to subscribe. It's your boy Angelo Savage. Let's go. Peace.